بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. نويت التعلم والتعليم والتذكر والتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وبسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم، والدعاء على الهدى والدلالة على الخير، ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله محمد.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Abu Abdullah Muhammad bin al-Fadl al-Balkhi. He was a resident in Samarkand, originally from Balkh. He was expelled from Balkh and settled in Samarkand, where he died. He studied with Ahmad Khadrawi, Khidruwa, and others. Abu Uthman al-Hiri liked him a lot. He died in the year 319. I heard Sheikh Abu Abdurrahman al-Sulami, may God have mercy on him, say, I heard Ahmad bin Muhammad al-Farra say, I heard Abu Bakr bin Uthman say, Abu Bakr al-Hiri wrote a letter to Muhammad bin al-Fadl asking him about the signs of wretchedness in the hereafter. He answered, 3 things. When a man is endowed with knowledge but deprived of deeds, when he is endowed with deeds but deprived of sincerity in performing them, when he is endowed with the company of the righteous, yet he has no respect for them. Abu Uthman al-Hiri used to say, Muhammad bin al-Fadl is a broker of man. I heard Muhammad bin al-Hussein say, I heard Muhammad al-Razi say, I heard Muhammad bin al-Fadl say, rest in the prison is something that the soul should desire. I heard Muhammad bin al-Hussein say, I heard Abu Bakr al-Razi say, I heard Muhammad bin al-Fadl say, there are 4 reasons for Islam's departure. Muslims do not act in accordance with what they know. They act in accordance with what they do not know. They do not learn what they do not know. They prevent others from learning. According to the same chain of transmission, he said, how strange are those people who cross the deserts in order to arrive at his house and to see the traces of prophecy. Why don't they cross their lower souls and their passions in order to arrive to their hearts and to see the signs of their Lord? May he be great and exalted. He said, when you see a Sufi novice who aspires to good things of this world, this means that he turned his back on God. Someone asked him about asceticism. He answered, when one looks at this world and sees only its imperfection, and when one turns away from it with pride, dignity and contempt. Abu Bakr Ahmad bin Nasr al-Zaqqaq al-Kabir. He was a contemporary of Al-Junayd and a great Sufi master of Egypt. I heard Muhammad bin al-Hussein, may God have mercy on him, say, I heard al-Hussein bin Ahmad say, I heard al-Katani say, when al-Zaqqaq died, the poor no longer had reason to visit Egypt. Al-Zaqqaq said, whoever does not combine his poverty with piety is eating prohibited food. Sheikh Abu Abdurrahman as-Sulami, may God have mercy on him, said, I heard Muhammad bin Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz say, I heard al-Zaqqaq say, I wandered in the desert of the children of Israel for 15 days. However, when I had finally found the road, I met a soldier who gave me some water to drink. Its harshness tormented my heart for the next 30 years. Abu Abdullah Amir bin Uthman al-Makki. He met Abu Abdullah al-Nabaji and studied with Abu Sa'id al-Kharaz and others. He was a great master of the Sufis and their leader in the science of the fundamentals of the divine law and the mystic path. He died in Baghdad in 291. I heard Muhammad bin al-Hussein, may God have mercy on him, say, I heard Muhammad bin Abdullah bin Shadan say, I heard Abu Bakr Muhammad bin Ahmad say, I heard Amir bin Uthman al-Makki say, whatever good thing, splendor, intimacy, beauty, radiance, form, light, person, or image which your heart may fancy, which may occur which may occur to you in your thoughts, or which may appear in the passing whims of your heart, God Most High is far removed from all of this. Have not you heard the words of God Most High? Like him there is naught. He is the hearing, the seeing. He also said, He has not begotten and has not been begotten, and equal to him there is not anyone. According to the same chain of transmission, he said, knowledge is a guide, and fear of God is a caravan driver. The soul which is caught between them is obstinate, recalcitrant, deceitful, and devious. If you keep warning her by the guidance of knowledge and driving her by the threat of fear, you will achieve your goal. He also said, no clear expression can be applied to ecstasy, because it is God's mystery among the believers.
Jazakallahu khairan, Muhammad.
وإياكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد.
Bismillah. Abu al-Hasan al-Nuri, rahimahullah ta'ala, said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made formal knowledge available to all people. To the ones close to him, he offered inner knowledge. To the ones who are pure, he offered his revelations. To the ones whom he loves, he permitted the witnessing of his essence. He hid himself from all of his creation. Confusion. When they think that the veils are lifting, they become veiled. When they think that they see, they become blind. I swear in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that his doings are most strange, and there is nothing stranger than his doings. He rahimahullah ta'ala recommends three basic conditions for the saints who want to experience affinity with God. The study of the religious law Sharia, because it turns the hearts of those who study it towards God. Austerity in this world, since it takes man close to the Lord of the two worlds, and knowledge of God attained through perfect faith bestowed by God. He rahimahullah ta'ala said, Tasawwuf is not a system composed of rules and sciences, but it is of morals. This is so because if it were a rule, it could be made one's own by strenuous exertion, and if it were a science, it could be acquired by instruction. On the contrary, it is a moral form. It is moral. Form yourselves on the moral nature of God, and it is impossible to come forth to the moral nature of God either by means of rules or by means of science. Nuri's death, rahimahullah ta'ala, occurred in a strange way, and raptured by the recitation of a verse, he ran into a nearby reed bed where the reeds had just been cut, and the razor-sharp edges of the stumps hurt his feet, without his being aware of the pain. Soon afterward, he died of the wounds. Hadrat Junaid al-Baghdadi, rahimahullah ta'ala, Junaid rahimahullah ta'ala considers the mystical aspect, a concept of Tawheed, unity of God, from four aspects. First, the unification of God is attained through belief in one God. This is the Tawheed of the common man. The second form of Tawheed is realized through the observance of the Sharia. The third form of Tawheed is realized when the seeker personally experiences the unity of God and knows that nothing exists equivalent to him. Here he feels the presence of God within his heart. The fourth kind of Tawheed is related to the knowledge of God, Ma'rifah, which is achieved through obliteration of his total individuality. His human existence is annihilated and he becomes absorbed in divinity. He rahimahullah ta'ala, describing the last stage of Tawheed, he says, it is a stage where the devotee has achieved the true realization of the oneness of God in true proximity of Him. He is lost to sense and action because God fulfills in him what He hath willed of him. He rahimahullah ta'ala said, God is affirmed more by not being than by being. He rahimahullah ta'ala said, Tasawwuf is to be chosen for purity. Whoever is thus chosen from all except God is a Sufi. He rahimahullah ta'ala said, the Sufi is like the earth which is trodden by the pious and the wicked, like the cloud which casts a shadow over everything, and like the rain which waters everything. He also said, Sufi is like the earth on which every foul thing is thrown and from which fair things come forth. He rahimahullah ta'ala said, the virtue of large-heartedness and magnanimity are the most significant value of life to be achieved by the mystics. Hadrat Ali Karamallahu Wajah is our Shaykh as it regards to the principles and as regards to the endurance. He Rahimahullah Ta'ala said, Tasawwuf is to purify the heart from the recurrence of inborn weakness and to take leave of one's natural characteristics, to extinguish the attributes of humanity, to alienate sensual temptations, to dwell with the spiritual attributes, to mount aloft by means of the divine sciences, and to practice that which is eternally the best, to bestow sincere counsel on the whole people, to faithfully observe the truth, and to follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in respect of the law Sharia. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد. بسم الله محمد.
Section 6. Evils of knowledge and signs of the learned man of the hereafter. We have enumerated the excellence of knowledge and learned men, but a great warning has come about the dishonest learned men. For this reason, one should know the differences of the learned men of this world and the learned men of the hereafter. What I mean by the learned man of the world is that his object of learning is to live in ease and comforts and to get honor and prestige from the people. The Prophet ﷺ said, the most severely punished among men on the day of resurrection will be a learned man whom Allah has not blessed on account of his knowledge. The Prophet ﷺ said, nobody can be learned unless he puts his learning into practice. He ﷺ said, knowledge is of two kinds, knowledge by tongue, which is open proof of God for the children of Adam, and the science of soul, which is useful. He ﷺ said, in the latter days there will be ignorant worshippers and sinning learned men. He ﷺ said, don't acquire knowledge to boast over the learned, nor dispute with the ignorant and gain popularity among the people. He who does this will go to hell. He ﷺ said, he who conceals his knowledge will be given by God a bridle of fire. He ﷺ said, I fear most for one who appears as Antichrist than Antichrist himself. Someone asked him, who is he? He ﷺ said, I fear most for the misguided leaders. He ﷺ said, he whose knowledge is great but guidance less is away from God. Jesus Christ, Isa a.s. said, how can you guide the night travelers along the right way when you yourself are perplexed? These and other traditions show that a learned man faces eternal happiness or eternal damnation. Sayings of wise men. Hazrat Uthman radiallahu anhu said, I fear most for this nation the hypocrite learned men. People asked, how can a hypocrite be a learned man? He replied, he has verbal knowledge, but his mind and his actions are ignorant. Hazrat Hassan Basari said, Don't be included within those people who are learned in wisdom and knowledge, but are equal to the ignorant in actions. Khalid bin Ahmad said, there are four kinds of men. One, one who has real knowledge and knows that he knows. He is a real learned man. Two, one who has knowledge but he does not know that he knows. Be careful of him. Three, one who has no knowledge and knows that he does not know. Such a man is fit to be guided, so guide him. Four, one who has no knowledge and does not know that he knows not. Leave him alone. Ibn Mubarak said, a man is learned till he searches for knowledge. When he thinks that he has knowledge, he becomes ignorant. Hazrat Hassan said, death of the heart is the punishment of a learned man. The death of the heart is search of the world with the actions of the hereafter. A poet said, woe to one who buys misguidance in lieu of guidance. Woe more to one who buys the world in lieu of the hereafter. Woe still more to one who fosters irreligion in lieu of religion. The Prophet ﷺ said regarding a wicked learned man, some learned men will suffer such intense agonies of torture that the inmates of hell will seek refuge on seeing their tortures. They are the wicked learned men. The Prophet ﷺ said, on the resurrection day, a learned man will be brought and he will be thrown into hell. His bowels will gush forth and he will roam with his bowels as a donkey moves round a millstone. The inmates of hell will move along with him and ask, what is the matter with you? He will reply, I used to enjoin the people to do good, but I was not myself accustomed to do it. I used to prohibit them evil, but I myself used to do it. God says, the hypocrites will remain in the lowest abyss of hell, as they refused to accept truth after they acquired knowledge.
جزاك الله خيرا محمد
وإياكم صلى
صلى الله
الله على
عليه
سيدنا
وسلم.
محمد.